You know, this Tuesday is National Caramel Day, and who doesn't love caramel? Here to help us get ready for that sweet holiday is our friend of the show, Tanorria Askew from Tanorria's Table. And Tanorria, good to be with you here this morning.
Thank you for
I was just
having
telling
me.
Tanorria that my impression of caramel is that it grew on trees. All these are that caramel, it just came from the caramel tree, but you're telling me that's not true, is it?
It does not grow on trees, actually.
So where does caramel come from then?
Caramel comes from sugar.
Okay, all right. So
it
that's what you got.
actually comes from my three favorite ingredients: sugar, cream, and butter.
Okay.
Who doesn't want that?
Which comes from the sugar, cream, and butter trees.
Yeah.
Apparently. But let's get past that for a second. Now, so this started out originally as just sugar and that you've been heating
I just threw the sugar in the pot. It's melting. It's getting kind of an amber color.
All right.
So you want it to get brown like caramel. And then once the sugar's melted, we're going to give ourselves a little facial here, so be careful.
All right.
But we're just going to drop
that's
butter.
A lot of butter.
Yeah, and it's going to steam up like this.
All right.
And melt and turn into goodness. And the same thing is going to happen when we put the cream in as well.
Okay, now is it any particular sugar that you use to begin with?
I just use regular granulated sugar.
That's
it's
it?
easier to melt.
Okay.
You definitely don't want to do like powdered sugar. And you can do a coarser sugar, but it's going to take a long time.
Okay, that looks like about a stick of butter right there?
Yeah, it's about 6 to 8 tablespoons of butter.
Okay.
And it just melts away and makes all this goodness. So when you're making caramel candy, this is kind of the start of it as well. You're just adding more stuff, but caramel sauce is easier.
Okay, so we've got the sugar, we've got the butter, and then you add in the cream.
Yep. We're going to add in cream after the butter's melted. I'm going to go ahead and take this off the heat.
Okay.
And toss in the cream, and it's going to have the same effect where it's kind of bubbling up a little bit. And then once all of this is kind of melted together, you're going to end up with this delicious sauce here.
All right, which I know we use at home for Sundays, but you can put it on so many different things, right?
Absolutely. So you have this sauce. You can totally pour this over popcorn.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so you could do that.
Now, with caramel corn,
in
is that typically how they make caramel corn? Do you end up shaking it around to coat everything?
You start with the hot popcorn, you got the hard caramel, and you're just tossing everything together, and it's delicious.
Okay. Plus, you've got some other items here that you can dress up as well, right?
So I love making caramel because I always have these ingredients at home. So let's say you have someone coming over last minute. Oh no, what am I going to serve for dessert? Fruit and caramel sauce.
Okay.
You're eating and it's healthy, so you feel a little bit better about it, right?
All right, that's fantastic. So I'm just going to go ahead
Absolutely,
and
go for it. Go
try a
for
little bit out of this right
Dip
here.
right in there.
All right. So when you make it, how much do you usually make at a time? Do you make it by the jar like this?
Yeah, this recipe usually makes about 2 to 3 jars, and it lasts on the shelf for about 2 weeks.
It tastes like caramel. Caramel fingers is my recipe for that right there. Just to make sure you keep one jar to yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, Tanorria Askew, thanks very much. We now know
Thank
caramel
you.
does not grow on trees, okay?
does not
We've
grow
straightened
on
that out.
trees.
We're going to take a break and be right back.